Hi, my name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer, and every single week I give you a macro technical analysis. I break down Bitcoin, gold, silver, the NASDAQ, the S&P, which is at an all-time high. Things are going crazy. Also the dollar, Bitcoin dominance, and more. We also want to look at these altcoins, see if there's opportunity in these risk-on assets on the macro. So let's take a look. First thing we're going to look at is BTC. We're going to jump on into the Bitcoin chart and show you what I see happening. First thing I look at is the monthly. And the monthly had 3 white soldiers, meaning 3 green candles in a row. It does have a little bit of a wick showing some signs of buy pressure, but the fact that we got sold down on this wick, to me, is bearish. I wanted to see this close a lot higher. Let me move myself over a little bit and shrink myself a bit. But I wanted to see this close greener and higher, preferably above where these 2 candles. And we have just 2 days now, and this looks like it's going to close red. To me, that is bearish. And we have to start thinking, is Bitcoin making some type of shoulder, head, right shoulder? I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure if it does that. I mean, you're looking at a $20,000, $18,000 Bitcoin if you really take the whole measured move, which to me is somewhat unrealistic, even lower. So anyway, are we going to go below $10,000 for Bitcoin? I don't know. I don't think that's likely. So to me, I don't believe that this right shoulder is valid. But at the same time, I have to look at it, on the monthly. So that's the first thing we're looking at on the monthly. Possible move. One thing I do see, and I'm starting to look at on like the 2-week or the bigger chart, is could we be making this bigger falling wedge, right? And maybe we come back down a little bit, we get tight inside this zone, and then we open up for a bigger move. So maybe we come down to 62,000, we come back up, we get tight, and then we break on out of here. I've seen that before. That's something Bitcoin has done on the macro as well. So the one time frame I really want you to pay attention to is the daily right now. The daily is attempting to dig in. Let's pull a Fibonacci from the low to the high. And you can see we're coming close to the 618, but we could come down, maybe even a bounce off the 786, which is 68,500. There's high volume nodes really close to those fib levels too as well. Chance the daily digs in here. There is support or resistance, previous resistance. We came right there for some resistance. We're bouncing. Can the daily get a bounce? See, this is the one thing I just started kind of thinking about right before I started this video. But could the daily get a bounce here back to the upside? It could be a time to load up on a long with a stop below here. See, no bull div really. Kind of hidden bullish in a way as this does do an uptrend while that does a downtrend on the RSI, but it's not amazing. RSI is very oversold, expecting some type of bounce on the daily. Maybe, see how this is like a shoulder head. Maybe we just come up and make a right shoulder, a lower high. But it does suggest we could be getting a bounce for Bitcoin. You look at the 4-hour time frame, and it's showing signs of a possible bottom finally. Massive wick down there to really take out any late longs, and then possibly travel back at least to the top of the range. So I'm not saying we're amazingly bullish right now. We really have to look at the 3-day and the fact that we're making this bear flag. And this is what everybody is stuck on. We're in a bear flag. We're breaking down, right? But, I think we should just give the daily its due diligence, its time. There's a chance. Now, if this does break down, we're looking at around a $50,000 Bitcoin, for sure. And that's what a lot of people are saying. I'm waiting for 54K. I'm going to buy 54,000. And I just feel like you don't know, Bitcoin usually doesn't give people what they think they're going to get. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder really to long Bitcoin at the perfect time. You really just have to be buying it anytime you see the fear very high, and then you go from there. So the 1 hour also is attempting to close above resistance, which is interesting. This could start a catalyst further to the upside. Even right now in the smaller time frames, which I know this is the macro, but just if you're watching, we want to see if this breaks out. By the time you see this, we're going to watch if this flag eventually did break out. But I'd watch the daily time frame tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We're looking for this to close green. Possible long with a stop loss below this could potentially pump us higher. And the measured move there is 87,000. We'd break back above the 200 moving average, it would change the story. So I'm not overly bullish. I can see how we're bearish. It doesn't look amazing. But, give the daily its due diligence. There's a chance here that the daily saves the day. And next week when I do this, we're actually a lot higher than we realize. Bitcoin dominance, which is something I always take a look at with Bitcoin, falling down, right? And honestly, that shows signs that people are more into altcoins. Right now, altcoins are starting to get a move. We're seeing move in injective protocol, the Atom ecosystem, right, which is Kepler, and it's pretty awesome if you think about it. We're seeing DeFi move. Zcash had a pump. Hyperliquid had a pump the last month. Altcoins have taken some market share from Bitcoin. I'd like to see Bitcoin come back down here, and then when it goes in its rally again, it gets the pump. But overall, I'd love to see this kind of trend lower and eventually pump down. So it does look like we could have some alt movement here for Bitcoin. Remember, tether dominance did not look so good for Bitcoin. It actually looked pretty bearish for me, you know, looking like it could roll over. Not roll over, pump actually, not roll over. You know, it's in this bull flag on the daily, and it again, it looks like it could continue. One could say, you know, and it even for me felt like it broke out. So this is the one thing, man. If this continues up, that daily isn't going to play. If you flip this upside down, it's Bitcoin upside down. You see? So we're looking for this to come, make a right shoulder, and dump back down to the bottom of the pattern. This is kind of what we need to see. Right now, it's unlikely. It's more likely that we flag out. Bitcoin may make a bear flag on the daily, a bull flag on tether dominance. So Bitcoin may not be on a massive dump, but it may be getting ready to consolidate for one. We got to watch tether dominance quite closely. Total is the entire market cap of all of cryptocurrency, and it's doing the same thing as Bitcoin. Bitcoin has most of the market share. You want to take a look at it on the monthly, and it is going to close a bearish month. Not as bearish as Bitcoin, but definitely bearish. It's not good. I don't like the look of it. It tells me that's a lower high, and we could make a lower low. The weekly for it, too, you know, we didn't break support or resistance. That's the one thing. Just like Bitcoin, there's a chance here we could hold, and there's a chance we get a bounce. This is just a retracement. We had a big pump. We came to retrace, and we get the massive breakout. So it's not over yet for the bulls. You know, right before the pump, it usually looks bleak, right? Just like right before the dump, it usually looks pumpy. So I'm digging in that this somehow, some way, we can turn this into an inverted head and shoulder. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we can break out and then crack this 200 moving average. There's a chance this is going to be a higher low here for Bitcoin. And that will include the total market cap. Look at total 3. That's the entire market cap of all the cryptos, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is like your altcoins. And, you know, following Bitcoin, but look at this, closing green on the month, not closing red. So it shows that altcoins are a little stronger than Bitcoin. Also getting a higher low with a wick could be closed, you know, looks a little stronger. Everyone's still saying this is the bear flag we're breaking down. But I'm keen on this idea, the same thing that we're just showing you for Bitcoin. This falling wedge breaking out. And so you had a pump for altcoins. They came back for support. I'll be honest, this looks interesting. We could be higher by Thursday, June 11th. So pay attention. Everyone's always a little too bearish right before the pump. This looks like we may get a massive pump here on total. We looked at gold recently. It didn't look amazing, but it is getting a bit of a bounce. If they continue to print money, I just don't see how gold doesn't make a move. Even if it fell out, got back in the wedge, I feel like gold's going to continue its overall bigger rally, right? Let's take a look here. I was a little more bearish on the other day, but when you look at the weekly, I mean, you came down, you got spiked up. The dollar's continuing to lose value, in my humble opinion. I feel like this is really the flag. Eventually, we're going to make some I just feel like gold's not going to go on a massive pump. I mean, you know, it's bigger rally here. But I feel like I would watch gold. It doesn't make sense to me that the gold's going to drop. You know what I mean? It makes more sense. We're going to get consolidate. And gold's going to be higher, you know, a year or two from now, January 2027. So I see gold actually getting a bit of a bounce right there. Same thing, look at gold and silver in the last few days, getting a bit of a bounce back to the upside. And maybe we drop down a little lower, like we come down and we hit the 618 before we break out. But I'll be honest, the way they're printing the dollar, I feel like silver may have, and again, this is this bigger idea here, you know. I want to see silver consolidate. I feel like gold and silver are about to pump. They look oversold and ready to move. Yeah, look at the daily on them both. They both look like they could pump. Kind of set up for a head and shoulder pattern, but says no way, you know. If you look at the daily, I really feel like you faked out. Guess you could say we're in that. I mean, it's an ugly trend line, though. I feel like these were fake dumps, come back in, dump, come back in. Now you're there, and then this is the same. I know this is wacky, but this is how I look at it. Like, it dumped, came left, came back in. This is the original channel, and this is going to break back out. I think we're going to see silver crack this high and then continue up. I could be wrong. I did say feel, but the charts are conveying to me there's going to be a move here in silver. You look at the DXY, and it's rolling over. It looks like it's making a right shoulder and going lower, right? So I don't see how that doesn't help Bitcoin in the long term. They continue to print money. They continue to use the dollar in excess, right, for all sorts of things around the world, even though we're in debt. So to me, this is just eventually going to roll over, right, and go lower, maybe even sooner than we believe. It's like a right shoulder there, but I'm more bearish on the dollar dropping as well. You look at the S&P, and I think it's at an all-time high today, and I think I remember I said that next week when you saw this that we would be higher. And remember, this is the last time I kind of left you with the fact that we would break out. And here we are, the last time we were here on the 22nd of May, a Friday, right? I was talking about this, you know, possibly maybe coming down and breaking out or breaking out. And then you can see what we did is we consolidated, we broke out, and it just continues to want to make a bull flag. Like, it doesn't stop. You know, you look at this on the 4-hour or the daily. I mean, the daily broke out and is showing signs of a massive pump. I feel like the daily wants to continue, so you don't have to stress that. The 4-hour wants to continue too. And so you do need the 1 hour here. And honestly, even today, we had the fake out. We're back in the pattern. And again, that's just like the straight arm use. And it looks like there's good news here. Oil's going to dump. So S&P looks like it's going higher. And you have the SpaceX IPO, which I feel is really fueling the fire here. Like, we can't dump until after that. After that, we may get some type of dump. You know what I mean? Like, how is this sustainable? But the same thing on the NASDAQ. Massive pump an hour ago, back in the pattern. I wouldn't be surprised if this NASDAQ continues to go up 31,100. So when I'm here next week, I believe we're going to see a higher NASDAQ and a higher S&P. And that is what it is. All right. Everyone, I hope you like this macro analysis. We broke it down for you, and we'll do this every single week. That's in about under 15 minutes. Under 15 minutes, we give you everything you need to know, kind of a bigger picture idea. Gold, silver, the dollar, Bitcoin, S&P, the NASDAQ. And it's been pretty accurate, too, if you just stick with us and watch what we've been saying for the last 3 years that we've been doing this. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of technical analysis, show up to my show every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see you there. And if you're here, then you know what you're doing, man. You came to the right place. So thank you so much. Please hit that like button, notification bell, so you can find out when I post my next video. Remember, and if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.